All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. That feeling of dread when you have to call customer service. You know you're about to get stuck in some robotic maze. But what if I told you that behind the scenes, there's a quiet revolution going on? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the amazing tech that's finally making those automated phone calls feel, well, actually human.
I mean, we've all asked ourselves this, right? While you're stuck listening to that horrible hold music, you have to wonder, in an age of self-driving cars and smartphones, why does calling a company still feel like a trip back to the 90s? Well, the frustration is real, and the reason for it is surprisingly technical.
And you know exactly what I'm talking about. The endless loop of press 1 for this, press 2 for that, the crazy long wait times, getting a totally different story from every person you talk to. And my personal favorite, having to explain your problem over and over and over again. But here's the thing. These aren't just little annoyances. They're actually symptoms of a much deeper, hidden problem.
So what is that real problem? Well, it turns out it's not just about a company having a bad phone system. It's a fundamental technical conflict. It's kind of like a story of two different worlds trying to talk to each other, but they speak completely different languages.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the issue. On one side, you've got our traditional phone systems. Think 1990s technology built on a language called RTP/UDP. It's old and simple. On the other side, you have these powerful, modern AI platforms that speak WebSocket, a language built for all the complex data on the internet. And they just cannot talk to each other directly. They're fundamentally incompatible. This is honestly the perfect way to think about it. You can't just plug them together and hope it works. The fax machine is sending these simple beeps and boops, while the smartphone is expecting, a dynamic, high-speed data stream. Without a translator in the middle, they're just not going to get anywhere. And this is the barrier that has kept truly smart conversational AI off our phone calls for years.
But now, we have that translator. And this is really the hero of our story today. It's the key piece of tech that finally smashes through that language barrier. It's called the RTP-UDP gateway.
So what is this thing exactly? Well, you can think of it as a real-time interpreter. It's a clever piece of software that sits right between the old phone network and the new AI in the cloud, and it just flawlessly translates the conversation back and forth, so fast that neither side even knows the other is speaking a foreign language.
And here's how it all happens, literally in the blink of an eye. The gateway gets your voice from the phone call, but the real magic is in steps 2 and 3. It uses something called voice activity detection, or VAD, which is just a fancy way of saying it knows when you're actually talking. It doesn't waste time sending silence. Instead, it cleverly groups your speech into little packets before it translates them and sends them off to the AI. And get this, it does all of that in under 200 milliseconds. Now, why is that number so important? Because anything less than 200 milliseconds is completely imperceptible to the human ear. You can't detect a delay that short. That speed is exactly what makes the conversation feel natural and instant, and it gets rid of all that awkward lag you hear on older systems. And remember that intelligent voice detection we just talked about? Well, this is the payoff. By only sending audio when you're actually speaking, the gateway cuts down on network traffic by a massive 40 to 60%. That makes the entire system way cheaper, faster, and just so much more efficient to run.
Okay, so we have this incredible translator. It's lightning fast, it's super efficient, but what can we actually do with it? Well, this isn't just about improving the old system. This technology unlocks a whole new world of possibilities. It basically creates an entire AI-powered workforce.
Seriously, this is not your parents' old Press 1 robot. We're talking about AI agents that are on the clock 24/7. They can speak over 7 languages. They don't just answer questions. They can autonomously solve real problems for you. And if things get too tricky, they can seamlessly hand you off to a human, with all the context of your conversation totally intact. No more repeating yourself.
So how do they solve these problems? Well, the AI has a digital toolbox with 33 different kinds of tools it can use. You can see here, almost half of them are PBX tools. That's stuff for controlling the phone system itself, like transferring a call or putting you on hold. But look at the rest. It can use web tools to search Google, API tools to connect to other software, and even data tools to read documents.
So just think about what that really means. In a single phone call, without you even knowing it's happening, the AI agent can be searching Google for an answer, updating your file in the company's database, and figuring out the perfect human expert to transfer you to if needed. It's a true multitasker, all happening in real time.
This is all really fascinating technology for sure. But what does it actually mean for businesses? And maybe more importantly, for us as customers? Well, the impact is a complete shift from the frustration we all started with to some incredible efficiency.
When you put it all together, what you get is a total transformation. It's night and day. We go from those rigid, annoying menus to having natural, easy conversations. We go from being frustrated customers to having our problems solved automatically. And for businesses, they go from having high fixed labor costs to seeing a 60 to 70% reduction in what it costs to handle calls.
And these aren't just estimates. Here are the hard numbers to prove it. The source material shows a 65% drop in labor costs, calls being resolved 40% faster, and a 50% savings on network costs, all thanks to that smart voice detection tech. I mean, these are absolute game-changing numbers.
As the research itself puts it, this system represents a fundamental shift in how enterprises approach customer communication. And that's the perfect way to say it. This isn't just a small upgrade. It's a completely new way of thinking about what's possible when you finally build that bridge between old phone lines and modern AI.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought to chew on. We've focused on customer service because, let's face it, it's a pain point we all know and hate. But when you have technology that can listen to, understand, and act on any phone conversation in any language, the possibilities are just endless. What other parts of our world are just waiting for a really good translator?